my goodness, how y'all
I got the
doing?
resolution particularly good today.
Oh my God, so y'all can see all the hairs on my neck that I didn't shave off? Okay. But listen, I'm fine with that.
I wasn't going to shave my hair. It was just getting all long and shaggy. I was like, shit, I got to be on camera.
Listen, this is where we are right now. So
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 122 of the BGKH Show.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny how, I go back on the Facebooks and, it shows us,
the Book of Faces.
previous episodes and stuff. And just like, wow, we've been doing this for a minute, huh?
Yeah. And thank y'all for hanging out with us for so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's been an amazing journey. I see people are like pouring into the room and everybody's coming in. So I see Eccentric on. Hey, there's one. Listen, this young lady needs a new sort of designation because she was one of the early people that stood by us.
She's a super fan.
Yeah, she's a super fan. Like, I don't know what to call.
She's a BGKH super fan.
We need to call her like she's like the BGKH super fan. But I need to give her own name for the show specifically. We already know she's a diva.
She's bougie girl.
We know she's bougie girl, but I mean, we can't call everybody else that like comes after her like they're bougie because they may not be bougie.
The bougettes.
That could they be the bougettes? I don't know. Well, we'll figure that out.
Yeah,
we'll figure that out.
We'll put a bookmark in that.
Right. Hey, y'all, what's going on? Glad to see y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for checking us out. We see you all have subscribed, and you can share our link as well, and telling people to come on in and subscribe and check us out anytime they want to.
Yes,
in rerun.
It's youtube.com/the BGKH Show. TheBGKHSHOW.
And since you went into that, let's tell the people what those letters stand for.
I did a little research.
You did just a little okay.
Just a little research. I looked into it. The B.
Okay.
Is for black.
The black. Okay.
The
so
blacks.
I get. Okay. So I get it. It's B
the
for
blacks.
black. Okay. I got you.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. All right.
The
okay.
G.
The G. Okay. We on a G now. We're on a G. Okay.
All right. This is what I've read now.
I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to remember this.
The G is for the gays.
Hello.
Hi,
gays.
If you can look around and you see this is like the gayest place in this neighborhood.
The gateway palace of the neighborhood. But that's so that's the G. Okay.
That's the G.
So then there's two more letters. There's the K.
The K is for kink.
So
the kinky people.
Yeah, you all can't see all that because
you
there's
can't see
a
all
whole
of that.
Closet full of ensemble. It's very well organized. Let me be clear. Like it's probably like not even the beginner. It's not a beginner one. It's more like I don't know if it's advanced, but it's definitely not a beginner rap.
No. It's not for basic bitches.
No, it's not at all.
No, not at all.
But yes, so that's the K.
And I couldn't figure out what the H was.
You know what? I now remember we had this conversation a couple times before. You know what the H stands for?
What?
It stands for because we are all
human.
Yes. That's what that's for.
Yes. So yeah. So so how was your week?
Listen, my week has been
it was a weeky week.
It was an amazing week because there was stuff that you had to do. Then there was stuff that you wanted to do. Then it was stuff that you didn't want to do, but it didn't really fit in with the rest of the stuff that you wanted to do.
Right.
So I mean, it's been a week.
Right.
It's been interesting. Like, listen, every day I thank God that I was able to wake up the next day and have a roof over my head and
hallelujah,
27 cents in my bank account and everything. So I'm very happy about that.
Listen, my stocks did real good. So I've got 32 cents.
Good.
So
look at God. Look at God right there. It's always on the positive. You have to see the positive. So it's been good. I think I told you I did another COVID test. I got that back. It was negative.
I haven't taken the test yet.
Not one yet? They're fine.
So I've never needed to take one. I don't never go nowhere. I don't never do nothing. So
I mean, I took it out of curiosity.
You be dipping it low and spreading it wide. So you gotta make sure that you're doing okay. And I appreciate it because you see this halo, it was just a slight tilt to the halo, but I'm here just sitting here following, Mayor Bowser's rules. Our new president told us, we got a 100-day mask up challenge. So, I'm doing everything that I need to do. So there's really not a need for me to take a COVID test. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this will be my aside that, he can't, that no one else can hear except for me. Ask him if he's had sex outside somewhere in the last 2 or 3 months.
Outside? No, I've only ever had sex here in this basement. In fact, I had it where you're sitting.
And there it is.
So you smell that?
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gay Boy Sex Palace.
Right.
There it is. There it is. There, and then here we are.
Yes. So go ahead.
But but I mean, other than that, the week has been good. Gearing up for some other stuff on the paying gig next week. And I was just sharing. Listen, I don't mean to offend y'all, and I don't even know who. If any of you are federal government workers right about now, then guess what? I'm gonna go ahead and speak my mind.
Y'all ain't shit,
baby.
Not you personally, but y'all collectively ain't shit.
Baby, the simplest of directions people cannot seem to follow. And it seems like the higher you go on the GS level, they just don't get it. And I'm not even a federal worker. And I'm like, this is basic common sense.
Isn't it
some of the things that we're talking about?
What's your grandmother always say? Sense ain't always common.
They get me a little frustrated. I had to call one of my coworkers and just kind of say, girl, am I missing something? Like, is it just me? Like, am I really missing something?
They're already, lazy and trifling or whatever. And then working at home has made them more lazy and more trifling. Because as an aside to your story, bitch, I do not give a fuck about your children or your pets. We are supposed to be here in this motherfucking meeting. Close the goddamn door, because I don't want to see your cat walking across the fucking screen and showing his whole butthole in the screen, nor do I want to hear your kids in the background.
When I tell you that is a prime
example. And that was an aside by Dominion.
But listen, it's a prime example of the types of people that I deal with. I had a supervisor from an agency that brought my job a $1.2 million contract.
And that's why you let this shit slide.
But
that's the only reason you ain't light her ass
but
up.
She was on this camera on this Zoom call. She was reaming my job a new asshole because she was like, this didn't happen and this didn't happen and this and we asked about this and we talked about this and we had and all this other stuff.
New dream.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But when I turned around and looked at the camera again, her furry child walked across the screen and put his entire ass in the camera as if to say, "Will they get a load of this?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And you're sitting there, you're stroking this cat like it's your mini
like you Cruella DeVille or some shit.
Or you're like,
right.
Oh my God, I could not. I was like, all right. And again, like you said, I was like, for the sake of this contract, I was like,
did she have any points though?
She had some points. She had a point, but it was one of those things where it is such a minor point
like
that it was like, but why? Like,
right. You don't have to blow it up like that. You try to make it sound like
you're trying to make. And then here's the thing: when you start dealing with us, we tell you what our platforms are that we can actually issue these classes out on, and we also talk to you about Adobe Connect. Adobe Connect, for any of you that may know, is like the ColecoVision or Atari of
Adobe Connect
web
is
services.
So ghetto,
and it's so fucking
before
old.
People started using, a lot of people are just using Teams now because you can do everything through Teams. But before Teams and before Zoom, everybody will be like, "Oh, well, let's use Adobe Connect." I'm like, "Girl, this shit is so broke down and fucked up."
And we have sat there and identified the problems and told you what the problems were from the beginning
with your IT infrastructure.
And one of the things that you bitched us out about was something that we told you about from the beginning.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, bitch. Oh my God. I was like, okay, all
You
right.
kept saying 1.2 million, 1.2
I was
million.
like, all right.
Let me just get this.
But
yeah.
you know, other than that, and my kids that I'm gonna have to deal with next week, because that's what I call them. They're gonna be my kids. I'm gonna have to deal with them all next week.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, the week was okay. So that was my week. How was your week? I'm sorry.
My weeks. I don't really have a whole lot to do. So like most days, you know, when we had training, we had to be up, you know, and on right at 8:30. But now that we've been released to work with our managers, my alarm goes off at 8:15, and then I'm just like fucking around until like 10:30. Then I finally get out of bed around 10:30. Come down. I'm on my phone.
You're on your phone, like you're checking the work.
Just
Yeah.
like I'm checking. There's just not a ton of stuff to do. You know, so, you know, and they were like, so what they told us, right, is, you know, in Teams, you can record meetings.
Yes, you can.
And so all of the project managers in my role have been recording the meetings because you're supposed to produce meeting minutes. And, you know, I at least understand design and construction, so I'm somewhat familiar with what they're talking about. But a lot of the other project management analysts, that's what the role is, don't have this kind of background, so they don't know what the fuck is going on. So they told us one day, because I guess somebody got mad because they were recording and said you can't record them. Where I was like, so, well, then what the fuck am I supposed to? Because if you don't know what I wasn't even using that. I use this app called Otter.
Okay.
That does a transcription. So I just literally, and sometimes, like the other day, I just brought my computer upstairs into the bed. I started the Otter, put that shit right by the computer, because the shit does a word for word transcription.
That's good to know.
And then the shit saves, and then I just pulled it up later, and then you just listen back to it, and then, you know, so I'm actually doing whatever. Oh yeah, girl. So yeah, I don't worry about none of that.
That's good to know.
And, you know, she was like, hey, so I'm gonna need you to take over for another PM. I was like, you could give me 3 or 4, but this, you know, I ain't say that.
Right. But you were thinking like, okay.
Right. I was like, okay, so
like
whatever, you know. I did find out that because I work for a utility company and utility workers are considered essential employees, so I got moved up on the list.
Good for you. Good for you.
But I'm already in the same, you know, but the utility workers are already in the same category as fat bitches. So it did, when I looked at the list, so, you know, like there's 1A, 1B, 1C, and then I think it's like 1D, and then just like everybody else.
Okay.
Utility workers was in 1C.
Okay.
But also in 1C were people 16 to 6, because, you know, people 65 and older were like 1B.
Okay.
And if you were 65 and over and lived in like a nursing home or did anything,
that would be like 1A. Yeah.
So 1C already included people who were 16 to 64 who they tribes, you know, had comorbidities or other issues that made them prone to. I was like, oh, okay, so fat bitches. Okay, got it.
That's what it is.
All right,
like,
so fat bitches.
Like it. Okay.
All right, so fat bitches was already on the list. So I'm already on the list, but it just might be easier because then instead of trying to, you know, fuck around with the city, like, you know, I'll suck your dick for a vaccine. Because like trying to get a vaccine in DC is foolishness. Like, you know, trying to call around, you know, their website don't update regularly and shit. But now it seems like I could just go to the utility company when they say it's available and just go down there and get it done. Instead of having to, you know.
I'm mad because we don't have no idea when it's gonna actually happen.
Don't you have high blood pressure?
I mean, I listen, I could have comorbidities out the motherfucking ass.
Oh, okay.
I got fat bitch going on. I got predisposition.
But you need to check out PG County.
But I mean, the link for I got the list for PG County, and I signed up for the notification. But it's like
I signed up for the list for the notification. But yeah, I'm still
low on the list. They're
still on like 1B.
Yeah,
in
I'm like,
DC, so you know.
So I, you know.
But y'all presidents, our
right.
I got so used to saying y'all president that you know our president did what the fuck the president is supposed to do and bought 200 million more doses so that everybody in the country. I mean, you're not gonna get it right away,
right?
But you know,
at least the purchase was made because he thought about it.
It has
and planned for it.
But he is like. So this tells you, you know, all this shit is. It don't take a whole lot. This is the federal fucking government.
That we just
all you got to do is go in and be like, we want to buy 200 million doses. I guarantee you, Moderna and Pfizer was like, hey, Bob, you know how you said you was going to go on vacation? No, girl,
Bob,
you need
Bob.
to.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, you need to be in because we got 200 million doses to make. So that's not even going to be an issue. So there's that. I mean, everything is cool. I got the article that I need to write for Recon, and I'm doing a video for them tomorrow.
Cool.
Another sex toy arrived, so I get to do.
Can I explain to you my experience with that? Like, I really hate the one that I was using trying to get the sex toy. It was like,
what was the issue?
So the issue was, first I hit them up on Instagram. No, first I hit them up on email, and then I hit them up on Instagram messaging, and they weren't responding until like every 2 or 3 days afterwards. And I was
I think it's there in like Asia or something.
Like, what the fuck? And I was like, what? So then when I responded back, like, are you still interested? Yeah, girl, I'm still interested. Like, what are you? They're like, okay, well, just find the page. So when
the same one that I sent you?
Yes. So when I found the page,
all you had to do was message them on Twitter.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Instagram, it was Twitter. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But when I found the page and I actually made a screenshot of the thing and sent it to them, you sent me nothing.
Oh.
So I was like, and then you hit me up a couple days later. Are you still interested? Nah, girl, go on.
Well, so the person that I sent you originally forwarded me on to someone else, and they've been incredibly easy to work with because, like, the first people, that's why I thought it was a scam. I was a little nervous, but I was like, all right, so I'll take the toy or whatever. The first people, you had to show them that you had paid for it, and then they reimbursed you. The new people that I deal with, like the last toy I got and the one that I just got, you just show that you have it in your cart. And she was like, oh, do you take Amazon gift cards? I said, yeah. So she gave me I'm assuming it's a woman, but I don't know that it's a woman.
Okay.
There's a woman in the picture on the Twitter profile.
Okay.
She just this is all in a DM on Twitter. She gave me the gift card number, where it says pay. You just put that in the gift card and it, so then it dropped the balance down to zero. I hit purchase.
Forward me her information because I swear this person, the last one you gave me, I wasn't happy with her. So I've gotten no toys, but I'm but anyway.
And so the first toy I got was over there somewhere. It's an inflatable prostate toy. So it's like a balloon
and
but it's electronic. So it's rechargeable. And I mean, the smallest setting is like 1.5 inches, and then 2, and then 2.5. And then so it has like 7 or 8 settings. So the first 3 is like inflates, second, and then but that's the diameter. So
that's the additional inflation that is giving you 2.5 inches, or that's the total diameter?
That's the total, but 2.5 inches, almost 3 inches. Or it might be 3. I'll show it to you when we're done. But listen, it's deflated when you put it. You shouldn't inflate it when you put it in. When it's deflated, it's only about this big around.
Right.
It's like about the size of a pecan or something. So that's about the size when you put it in. But it inflates when it's inside you, and it also has vibration. But then it also has modes where it inflates and deflates like constantly with vibration and stuff. So it was cute. And she asked you to do a little video. So I did 2 videos. One just as like an unboxing video to post to Amazon.
Okay.
And then like an X-rated video with it in use. The second one, because they give you a choice of ones, and they'll give you like 3 or 4 or whatever that they want you to choose from. The second one, I'm gonna use it, but it's a dildo, but it vibrates and thrusts.
I've seen that.
Size is very beginner. Well,
I've seen that.
I'll put it to you like this. For people like me and you who are either, professional versatiles or just have a huge array of toys, it's very, very beginner. But I think there'll be other people that are like, oh my God, this is so big.
So how big is this thing?
It's not big at all. You see about this, it's about this tall, and it's about that big around. So it ain't gonna be knocking the paint off. I mean, it's something to do. I'll let Azamek tell you what he thinks of it when we do it. So, but it's not going to knock the pain off, or it's not going to, make you
go take it for a spin. Okay. All
right. Live a little.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, everything else from your week was good, or okay. Yeah, I kind of
not a whole lot going on. Today I was like, bitch, what day is it?
Listen,
I literally had to look at my clock, look at my phone and the calendar on my computer like 3 or 4 times a day. I was like, is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday?
Are you getting up? I'm getting upset now that when I wake up in the morning, it's bright and sunshiny. And then when I look back out the window, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I notice it's starting to get dark. And I'm like, oh, it's getting dark soon. I gotta go to bed.
That's like on the weekends or whenever I go out, I'd be like, I need to get out before it gets dark because I feel like I'm afraid of the dark or I can't drive at night or anything. But you just feel like it's so dark. You be like, it's 7 o'clock. I feel like it's midnight.
Yeah, it does. And it's a little, it's kind of off-putting.
It's very disconcerting.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then when I get up in the fucking morning, because I've really started since I don't have to get up at the butt crack of dawn. So I do try to be in the bed by 1 o'clock in the morning, and I don't have to get up until 8:15.
Getting in the bed isn't the problem.
No. I get in bed at 10 o'clock. I'm fucking around on TikTok.
Gotcha. That's the thing. It's the TikToks. That's what fucks fucks the kids up.
That's what I'm fucking around on until 1 o'clock in the morning. But I'm still getting 7.5, 8 hours of sleep. But without fail, my eyes open around 7:30. I'm like, motherfucker. And and here's the thing: I could get up, but this is what I should do. What I should do is, since I feel refreshed and everything, I should get my ass up. And
you have options.
I do. I should come down here and get on the elliptical. So
we'll
see. Listen. Did I mention this to you last week that I finally admitted to myself that I have an addiction to sugar?
No.
I'm not like, clawing the arms out, but like how some people, I just say, girl, I can take or leave sweets. It's not all like that. I was like, I could take, but I never leave them. I always take them. I'm not going to lie to myself. I do allow myself to eat some sweets on the weekends, but during the week, Monday through Friday, I do not eat. It's not that I don't eat things that are sweet, but I don't eat sweets. So like no ice cream, no candy, no cookies, I even cut back on, my favorite, which is orange marmalade.
Do you use Splenda or just no sugar at all?
I just don't eat things that I got a big old jug of water and all I did was squeeze a lemon into it. And then things that do need a little sweetness, I use agave, because agave has a lower glycemic index, so it doesn't shoot your blood sugar up as much.
So I've been using Splenda, and I use, when I get my coffee, I'll use Splenda, and I'll also use my sugar-free hazelnut to put in it, and that gives me my sweet.
Splenda is, so in order of taste from best to worst of the artificial sweeteners, because agave is a natural sweetener.
That is true, yeah.
Of the artificial sweeteners, Splenda.
Hold on, are y'all out there? Y'all seem a little. I know we just.
Yeah, y'all are awfully quiet. Yeah,
quiet. There's only 3 people. Are y'all?
Well, that's because I didn't get the script to the very end, so I didn't get to send out a thing to let people know.
I want you all to understand the amount of subtle shade that just happened.
It wasn't subtle.
The passive aggressive amount of shade that just
happened. It may have been a little passive aggressive, but it wasn't subtle.
But it was very passive aggressive, and I feel a little attacked right now. But go on, continue.
As I was saying, the best tasting, which is still damning with faint praise, because I still think Splenda has a weird aftertaste to it, is Splenda.
Okay.
Then below Splenda is NutraSweet.
Right.
But no, below NutraSweet, and actually this is controversial, is Sweet and Low.
Sweet and Low is fucking horrible.
The worst is that fucking monk fruit stevia shit. Stevia tastes terrible to me.
So I don't think I've ever tried stevia.
So try something that says it has.
But Splenda is made from the stevia plant. It's like an offshoot of it.
No, Splenda is sugar that's missing a molecule. Because I worked with
so then
the
tell
company
me
that makes it,
So then okay. Yeah. So then tell me why stevia is associated with Splenda at some particular point. Like I don't know if it was
you can get a mixture of it, I believe.
If it's the
now I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it's my understanding that Splenda is, it's the same chemical composition as sugar, but has a missing molecule. Stevia is made from monk fruit, so theoretically it's also natural, but it has a weird, funky aftertaste to it that I can't fucks with.
Okay. So it says Splenda is much sweeter than stevia. Stevia is approximately 200 times sweeter than sugar, and it gets sweetness from natural compounds, which is healthier. Hold on. Continue.
All right. So yeah. So again, I've just been trying to cut back cut back drastically on the amount of sugar that I have during the week, and eventually cut it down to almost zero. So like the only thing that I put any sweetener in is I make this tea from turmeric and ginger, and it needs some sort of a sweetness to it because you just can't. I mean, you could just drink it by itself. So I put some of the agave nectar in that. But although agave is low on a glycemic index, it has more calories per serving than like a tablespoon of agave nectar has like 160 calories. So it's very energy rich, or what is it called? Nutrient dense, I think is the word. What have you found, Professor Epic?
So I have found, so it says the biggest difference between 0-calorie sugar substitute Splenda and stevia is that stevia is marketed as a natural substitute.
Mm-hmm.
Splenda is the brand name for a sucralose-based artificial sweetener derived from sugar and is supposed to taste just like sugar. Stevia refers to a sweetener made from the leaves of the Stevia rebaudiana plant. Mm-hmm. And although marketed as natural, it is still manufactured from the plant. Stevia is most popularly sold under the brand names Truvia and Purevia. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it is a part of.
Yeah, so it's not an artificial.
Well,
it is a manufactured product, but I mean, lots of products are manufactured, but it's not artificial.
That is correct.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll eat some things with sucralose or Splenda in them. Mm-hmm. But it just depends on the thing. So, like if what I'm drinking is usually drinks that I put it in. If it's something that's supposed to be like a little acidic, like lemonade, I feel like you don't notice it as much. But if you buy like those Kool-Aid squirts, it comes in a little jar and you squirt it.
Oh, okay. I got you.
That tastes terrible because it's not. The aftertaste of it is so much more pronounced because I know what the fuck red Kool-Aid is supposed to taste like. And this don't taste like red Kool-Aid
and motherfucking lemonade.
Right. I know what the fuck tropical punch is supposed to taste like, and this ain't it.
Bitch, tropical and fruit punch, bitch. What? Because there's a difference.
Right, and this ain't it. So yeah. So anyway, so I'm trying to do a little better.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bullshit myself and say I don't know if I make huge changes. And I've also tried to cut back on eating dinner after a certain hour. Like, it's 8:00 and I'm in the bed by like 10:30. So
Oh no, bitch, I'm going to fuck up dinner when I get home. Like I gotta figure that out, but I'm going to fuck something up. Whether it's a salad.
Hey, quintessential.
I don't know if I had to come out and say I'm addicted to sugar, because I don't necessarily know if I'm addicted to it. But
I know that I am because, like, if I got a bunch of cookies, I can't just eat just one.
Oh no, now
If it's like
I will
10
fuck up.
cookies
I will
there,
fuck all the
I
cookies
can't just
up.
be like, oh, I'm going to eat 2 cookies and put them away because they'd be upstairs. They'd be like, eat me, eat me. Did you see me up here? You see me up here, motherfucker.
But I will say this: I find it absolutely appalling to go to the store and buy a container of Haagen-Dazs or Ben and Jerry's or whatever your flavor is of any of those ice creams and not eat the whole pint. And when you read the back of the directions,
you're supposed to get like 4 servings out of that.
It's like 3 or 4 servings. I just don't fucking understand.
Yeah, I was like, bitch, I don't know who the fuck eats.
I don't like this is.
I will tell you that if you, I mean, I love different flavors of ice cream, but I also like a good vanilla. And
listen, Breyers vanilla is still one of my favorites.
Breyers vanilla, but I already gave y'all the fat bitch alert about Bluebell.
Well,
and they sell Bluebell, and so Bluebell makes these individual servings.
Okay.
And so that's what I bought. And so I was like, all right, so when I do eat ice cream, instead of buying, a whole pint of it, because if I'm doing good, I get 2 servings out of it. But
I tried that though.
By buying the individual servings, Ben and Jerry's has those too. The little individual.
First of all, that's not an motherfucking individual. That is that little tiny container is probably about that tall, and you get probably
like 2 spoonfuls.
You get probably 2 tablespoonfuls like chunks, and that's it. And it's like, bitch, that's not.
I'm just getting started. Shit. Then you eat like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's like I would buy them and I would try to buy the small one because they don't have all the flavors. Right. They only have the ones that I eat. They only have vanilla, chocolate, and they also have the waffle cone one. Mm-hmm. And I think they had the Swiss almond one, which is actually not bad. So I've tried that as well. But they don't have butter pecan, and I'm kind of pissed off about that. In the small, like if I could do that in the small one, I would buy it. Yeah. Now I would probably still be eating like 2 or 3 at a time, but still, at least I would feel better.
But I'm trying to, work on my self-control.
That is correct. It is there are so many things that does have sugar in it,
and even worse than sugar is fucking salt. So many things, even like sweet things, you'd be like, salt is like a third, or you'd be like, where was I the other day?
Even stuff like Worcestershire sauce, which I love, like I'll do. It's like, bitch, wait a minute. Like it says no sugar, but it's like less than whatever the recommended did. There's some sugar in it because it's sweet,
right?
And it's like, now I will say that I will throw a little bit on my vegetables sometimes, but if I'm like sauteing them,
and like some of those frozen meals, even the ones that's supposed to be like healthy, like lean cuisines or whatever, you look at it, you be like, this one meal is like 60% of all of the salt I'm supposed to have in one fucking day.
Child, I learned a long time ago. If you look at the back of packages, and if anything on it says ends in OSE, it's a sugar.
Right. And meats, like all of my favorite, like Frank's Red Hot is like a bitch. I saw that, I was so mad.
I still use Frank's Red Hot.
I don't use it as much as I do anymore. Anyway, all right, so we spent a half hour talking about food. All right, well, there's that. All right, so first up on the list, you want to jump right into?
So listen, okay. So spoiler alert, I just want to let y'all know we get ready to talk about Drag Race. This is our shit. This is what we talk about.
Right. And this is who we are.
This is what we got going on, and we got a little PowerPoint presentation going on for this evening because we're gonna do this. This is what we're doing. We're trying to do bigger things, and
this is how we live.
This is how we're trying to do it. So, listen. Okay. So here we are. Drag Race season 13.
Yes.
Picture it. All right. So we finally got out of episode 1 because normally the first episode is usually where
it was really episode 1, part 3.
Yeah, it was like because they have everybody come on, introduce themselves, they go through all this stuff, and the person usually goes home. Yeah.
So they had 2 introductions, and then 2 with the girls. So we're on episode 5, but really just getting to the first challenge.
Well, actually, we had 2 introductions. Yeah, 2 introductions, and then this was the group. So this is episode 3.
No, but remember they had 2 introduction shows. Then they each had to do a number.
Right, but that was a part of one show.
That was the whole cast. That's what
I'm saying. What I'm saying is, so that one show did that half of the number. The other show did the other half of the number.
Right.
It was dragged out for 3 weeks.
4.
3. This was episode
3. Okay, fine, whatever. Yes, got it. You're right. You're right.
Okay,
You're
okay,
right.
all
3. So this is episode 4.
This
All
is
right.
episode 4.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so here we are. So they've gotten rid. We sent the first person home, and all the. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping forward. Let me stop.
Yeah, you're jumping way ahead.
I'm jumping ahead. Okay, so
But the person that went home, I'm not really surprised.
ciao. Okay, so they had the groups divided up. They had the winners, and then they also had the pork chop squad. So, which actually is not a bad thing because pork chop, when she was on the show, that bitch will go down. And she's gone down in history forever. Every time there's a reunion show, Ruth's always like, "Hey, pork chop," because if she's in the audience, she always speaks. Listen, I'm not mad.
Rue has said this a number of times. Like, been on the show is what the fuck you make it.
Yeah,
You look at people
it's
like
the opportunities that
you
come
look
about.
at people like Vanjie, who was the first person to
Shangela.
go home, and Shangela.
Mhm.
Shangela been on the show. What?
1, 2, 3.
Then
4.
All Stars. 3 times, and then All Stars.
Yeah, so that was 4 times.
Yeah.
4 times on the
And
damn
she
show.
almost won
Yeah,
at the end.
we still say she was
Yeah,
robbed.
she was robbed.
She was still
she was robbed. She was
But
so
we
robbed.
but we digress.
Right, because we could talk like a
Yeah,
whole
'cause that-
hour
yeah.
about that shit.
But anyway, so okay, so the winners from the original squad was Olivia Lux, Gottmik, Candy Muse,
Olivia is still one of my faves.
She's good. Lala Reed,
Mhm.
Tina Burner, Simone, Elliot with
And
2
Simone.
T's,
Mhm.
and Elliot with 2 T's was actually the one of the pork chop crew that left and went over to the winner's side.
They voted her ass
Right.
off without even knowing her.
Right, voted her off, and then she kind of left, and then she came back on the winner's side and competed with them as well. And then this episode picks up where the winners are now meeting the pork chop squad, who consists of Denali, Rose, Tamisha Iman, Joey J, Utica, and Kimora Hall.
Yes.
So,
Side note about Tina Burner, you know who Graham Norton is, right?
yeah.
They used to date.
Oh.
Tina Burner and Graham Norton in like 2013,
Well,
2014.
color me pink and tickle my booty. Oh my God, that is amazing. Okay. Well, all right.
I mean, that's just a cute little tea.
Yeah,
it's not even tea because he talked about it. So
yeah,
it
I mean
wasn't
that's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations though on both of them. So okay. So anyway, the groups were merging, and the winners were all in the room, and the winners were like, "Oh my God, what's going on? We're gonna see what these new girls is like." And then Elliot decides that he wants to hide because they don't. The pork chop squad,
because the girls was trying to.
they wanted to be a little start some shit and be a little shady. So Elliot decides to go on high. And so when the new girls, when the pork chop squad walks in with the winners, then it was a conversation of like, "Oh my God, y'all made it!" Like, "Oh yeah. Like, who did y'all vote off?" And they start talking about Elliot with 2 T's. Then they start asking, "Well, why did y'all vote her off?" Well,
they
I
couldn't
wasn't
really come up with any good. I think they all. I feel like one person said they were voting off Elliot, and then everybody else was like, "Oh, okay, great."
We'll go
I
with
don't
that.
really know anybody, and that's what I would have said. I was like, "Listen, everybody else said your name, and so I said it too." And then he tried to get smart with Tamisha Iman, and he was like, "Well, why didn't you just vote yourself off?" And she was like,
Tamisha, being the elder statesman that she is,
"Yeah."
pulled it all the way together. And the guy was like, "Well," he said, "Well, why didn't you volunteer to go home? Or why didn't you step up to go home?" She said, "Because they didn't vote me. They voted for you."
Right.
And then gave this like the stare of death, like boink, 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 boink. Like,
right.
what?
So, bitch, what? I mean, sometimes these people make drama where it's unnecessary. Like, listen, girl, somebody had to get voted off. They didn't vote for me. And, listen, I'm not going to vote for myself. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
so
we're not going to do that. And so in this picture, you actually see the winners up in the upper left. And then you also see on the bottom, the bottom right, you see that the winners emerge with the pork chop squad. So this is our entire season cast for season 13. Okay, so next we jump into the Maxi Challenge. They have to do this acting challenge, which is in the vein of the Hallmark channel, and they called it the RuPaul holiday channel. And they had all these little specials. And so the specials were Misery Loves Company, God Loves Flags, April Fools Rush In. And so they were all put in these 3 different groups. So in the Misery Loves Company, you had Denali, Elliot with 2 T's, Kimora Hall, Olivia Lux. In the God Loves Flags, you had Lala Ree, Rose, Simone, and Utica. And then April Fools Rush In was Gottmik, Joey J, Candy Muse, Tamisha Iman, and Tina Burner. And so the way these scripts were set up, they all have these iconically gay moments or things about
all of
them.
these girls should lose their gay
Yeah,
cards
because they weren't hitting any
it was
of the
like
cues.
I was like, how she was like
Tina was on it though.
Rue was like, haven't you seen
Child.
Mommy Dearest? And he was like, knock down this bitch of a bearing wall and put a bearing wall where it ought to be. And she was like, and Ross was like, with more feeling, knock down this bitch of a bearing wall and put. And I was sitting there like,
y'all don't get this. Y'all don't get these references at all.
He's like, knock down this bitch of a bearing wall and put a window where a window ought to be.
Listen, Tina was on it.
Tina was on it.
Tina Burner was on it.
Tina was giving it. But these weren't like obscure gay lines.
Not at all. Not at all.
And as drag queens of all, I mean, like what drag queen? I mean, you got to have seen a drag queen give you her best Mommy Dearest, give you her best Cher, snap out of it. I mean, come on. Y'all know.
And Tamisha being the old, she's the old bitch of the crew.
First of all, y'all know how RuPaul is about motherfucking Cher. So every season there is something that involves Cher.
There it
is.
If
you fuck it up, it never goes well for you.
Yeah, there it is.
I think you just got lucky that somebody else was way worse than you.
That is correct. Because from these performances, you got to see who could act and who could improvise. But
it wasn't even acting. It was
some of it was,
but a little bit. But really, if you could have just like said whatever, like put a bang, if you had just hit the iconic line, you would have been fine. So it wasn't acting in the sense of you had to create a fully realized character. All you had to do was do your best drag version of shit you should already know.
This is true. But so some of the highlights to me. So listen, Ross was trying to help the girls out. He was trying to help. Oh my God, he tried to help out Tamisha Iman
so much.
But when he got to
snap out of it,
snap out of it.
Snap
baby
out of it.
When he got to Miss Kimora.
Should I move the slide?
No, not yet.
Oh no, okay, go back.
But when you got to Miss Kimora Hall, baby, oh my God, he was like, how would you say this? Say it again.
What was the line? I can't remember.
He was saying, what did Tyra Banks say? He was like, I was rooting for you.
Oh, right. So it was like, he was like, I was rooting for you. Right. I was like, girl,
she was like, I was rooting for you.
Have you not seen that? I'm like, girl, what do you girls do?
I could not. And he was literally feeding them the lines and also feeding them how they should say it and everything.
Right. He was like, all you got to do is reference America's Next Top. Yeah.
Listen, some of the girls were horrible. Listen, Miss Lala Ree, you were just flat. Tamisha Iman, Lala Ree had the flag on, and she was in the God Loves Flags,
the gay pride flag.
Yeah, and I was like, girl, you're just flat. Utica, when Rue came out and was talking to the girls, trying to give them a pep talk. Her facial expression was like,
because isn't she like a Seventh-day Adventist? Yeah, she's a Seventh-day Adventist.
Mormon.
Seventh-day Adventist. Mm-hmm.
And so, like, her response to that was hilarious. And so, Rue's trying to give the girls some pointers on how they act.
Rue was making it sound.
It wasn't, but it was comical though. It was very comical to just sit there like,
it was funny, but it wasn't like drop dead hilarious like she was. But okay, fine, whatever.
So. Anyway, so they were trying to prep them for the scenes. So they go through the scenes, and you have to look at the scenes. And we're not going to play it, but again, look at the scenes. They were actually pretty decent. The crew that had, for me, God Loves Flags minus Miss Lala Ree was probably one of the best ones, but that's just me. So
I'm continuing not to see it for Candy.
Candy in her skit
as Quintessential said, Candy Muse is talking a lot of mess but doesn't show anything worthy.
So we're going to listen.
We're going to get into her look in a minute. Okay.
So Candy Muse is a fucking clown, literally, and even in this story. But you can watch that part,
right?
But let's get into these main stage looks. And so Lonnie Love was she's back on stage judging.
She's
and
a
the
super
category,
fan.
Yeah, the category was trains for days. So as you can
Some
see,
of these girls weren't trained.
No, they were not. They weren't even trained. They were just basic attachments.
Right.
So listen, in this picture, you see Joey J in the upper left, but the cute thing with Joey J in the lower left is that the back of her jacket was her train consisted of a mouth and a tongue with a piercing. Yes. I thought that was creative, and I was like, okay, cool. You also see Tamisha Iman over here. She had on this hot pink color. This pantsuit and this train look going on. I'm not a fan of it.
It didn't feel like a train to me. It just felt like attachments.
Like let me just tack this on your back. Like you got stuck on the curtain got stuck on you, and
a train is supposed to give like drama to
and elongate the figure.
Right. But that's a train is supposed to be like
dramatic.
Unwieldy. Think of Princess Diana when she got married and that 40-foot long fucking ass.
That's for a train. That's what I need for a train.
That I was really hoping a bitch would have come out and like she would have walked out. And she would have been all the way at the stage.
And the train is still coming.
The train was still not all the way out.
Yep. That's what I was hoping for.
That's what I was hoping
for. So, anyway.
Or like a train that was on wheels or something. Or like for a bitch to come out dressed as a train.
But wait, we got that. So, the next slide, you also see, and these are the safe girls I want to tell you all right now because, you get to the point in the competition where she says you're safe or you're up for elimination. But these are the safe girls. So, you also
This look was cute, but she is built like a pizza box.
So you had Tina Burner who did the train look because her train was actually the train tracks and she was actually a train. So I thought it was cute.
It was cute. It was definitely cute, but she is built like a train.
She is. Utica came out with this homage to Carol Burnett, which I thought was
cute, but I wasn't seeing the train.
Her train was just attached.
Yeah.
So Olivia
if it had been another challenge, I think that would have been like a really interesting look. But for me, all it was just the same look. It's purple instead of green.
And apparently she made this look in the back of the show before she came up on stage.
I mean, that's cute and all, but
so
it still wasn't given
that.
train.
But she was safe and that's fine. But I mean, I'm going to give the homage to Carol Burnett. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Olivia Lux and her look, it was very basic. It was very plain.
Yeah, that's not a train at all.
It was just a jacket.
That's, how the
tails on a jacket. That's what it was.
Right. You know how the girls had the little, with the wrist and it's got the little thing that hangs down and it spins. It balloons out when you twist.
What she did was what Got Milk did, and she did a better execution of it, which the thing would attach. But Got Milk came out. Got Mick came out, and she had her bedazzled windblower and her train, which wasn't really a train. It was more like just a fairy fabric, dusty attachment type thing going on. And then also you had Elliot with two T's that came out in this beautiful white ensemble, but it wasn't really a train.
White, but it was gorgeous.
It was beautiful, but it wasn't.
I really wanted to hate Elliot with two T's this picture, for some reason.
I thought it was great. The way it
was
caught,
one of the best looks on the main
The
stage
presentation of it was, I think, one of the best things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give her that. Mm-hmm. Now, again, these were all the safe girls. Now, these right here, these next couple girls are going to be the tops and the bottom. So you had Lala Ree with this whole snake look on it. And she had two trains, actually, the train to the jacket. And then also when she took that off, there was an extended train or extended tails, if you will.
Right.
Rose had this she talked about his 1980s look.
It looked like one of those flying suits. You know how like it's the jumpsuit with the wings built in.
Okay.
Yeah, so
like a squirrel type of suit.
Yeah, like a flying squirrel suit. That wasn't a train at all.
And Miss Candy Muse.
Oh, girl,
Miss Candy Muse said a couple of things.
Mess.
But get into this look. This look is so. First of all,
other people
put
helped
this
her.
Train
did
right.
That.
Put the train at the last minute. It was an alliance was formed between her, Got Mick, and Tina Burner, which I honestly know if they're your girlfriends or not. Girl, I don't know. I don't know. But this look was
Lala Ree's outfit was cute, but
it was cute. The fit of Lala Ree's outfit was amazing.
Yeah,
and even the chaps were amazing. When she took the jacket off, it looked good on her. Her body looked great.
Her body
she was padded down. She looked amazing. But Miss Candy Muse and this blood red vampire type of look that she had going on,
her whole paint is
unfinished.
It looked like
ill-fitted,
terrible,
raggedy.
No train, terrible spray tan.
It wasn't. And then you could see all of her foundation garments underneath the bottom of it. And I was like, girl, what? And then you thought you would just drop dead gorgeous. And you even made a comment in Untucked, like, I think the top three are me. And I was like, girl, what were you looking at?
Right.
What camera were you looking at? Like, I don't understand. Like, girl, what could you possibly
I mean,
say?
I appreciate like her foundation. I'm like, it was
Her wig was a fucking mess.
like
Listen,
it looked. If you felt, I understand how you want to show the highlights, but
girl.
like all up in here was all super dark, and it was like this bright ass circle in the middle of her.
You know what
face.
that is? She didn't. She had
She
a
didn't
wig
blend
line.
it.
She had a wig line, and she didn't fucking put the makeup on top of her wig line. She didn't blend that shit. As listeners, one of our brothers, Special K, would say, and Dominion at the same time, blending. Because
It's all about
it was none of
blending.
that. It was none of that.
No.
And so that annoyed me. So
I hate a bitch that talk a whole lot of shit and then don't follow it up.
Yeah, like
listen, it's always the girl. It's always the girls that talk a lot of shit that don't follow through with it.
I was like, girl, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it for her. And I'm trying, and maybe it's because I also don't care. She just talks a lot of shit and just
she's a broke down version for me. A broke down version
is Jiggly Caliente 2.0.
See, I was gonna say she's a broke down version of Vanjie. Vanjie,
that's true.
She's a very broke down version. Like, and
right, she's trying to give Vanjie energy, but Vanjie is
polished though.
Let's just be clear.
She's
after that first episode when she fucked it up. She got her shit together.
Now she wore a whole lot of motherfucking corsets,
but she explained that shit because she was like, unlike in the very first season,
she looked short and dumpy and fat with that flower look.
But what happened is she was having a lot of people make stuff for her, and they weren't all coordinated. So each look on its own was fabulous, but it was all the same silhouette with this corset or this spangled bodysuit. So each look was great, but when you put them all together,
it was a lot of
essentially the same look. Same
look. Right. So this next slide here.
Vanjie had fun energy.
Not Candy.
Candy Muse's Vanjie was loud but fun and had her shit together.
Candy is loud.
Candy is just loud,
obnoxious. She's like that drunk loud person that you don't want to be around anymore.
Like or like you could be around them for a minute, but after like a minute, you'd be like, "Girl, you better to go." Not to Candy, but to all your other friends, just like
I could name a few people who she reminds me of, but we will leave that untalked about. Next slide. Next slide. As you whisper in the microphone.
Who are you talking about? What name was that?
This next slide, these were also part of the tops and the bottoms as well.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, Kimora Hall, her fucking gown was absolutely drop dead. The detailing,
yes.
The bead
the
work,
train could have been longer.
It could have been longer, but the bead work on his gown,
a true train.
The sequins and
to the look,
it was amazing.
Yes.
Denali, I liked her train too. I thought it was a cute train too, and it had even a whole story. So I'm gonna give her points for that. It looked a little messy for me, but it was okay. Mm-hmm. But Miss Motherfucking Simone, when I tell you this bitch. When Lonnie said, "Bitch, that's Detroit," she said, "That's all Detroit, bitch." She did that whole look. And let me be clear.
It was the longest train on the stage.
She made history for Drag Race. Not only so, here's the thing: the look wasn't necessarily all that great. It's very
overall. I didn't.
But here's the thing: Simone's energy and how she models it.
She could have been in that horrible salt.
Very much so. But her energy and how she modeled it and how she brought it through was everything. She's that girl. Matter of fact, she reminds me of my girl Corey, not Cory Booker, from
Sabrina Blue.
No, in Detroit, the Congressman Cori Bush. She reminds me of like somebody that was Missouri. Thank you. Mm-hmm. She reminds me that she would show up at Cori Bush's family reunion. She's like a family member.
Yes,
like that. That's how I feel about her. Like she was amazing. So I'll give her that, and her energy was great. So
I think I agree with Quintessential. Kimora had a beautiful gown. She thought she was just there for modeling. It was like, yeah, girl. I mean, I get that. And that whole thing can work. You can have a whole ass career just being a bitch that gets up on stage
and does look
and stand there and looks and lip syncs in a fabulous gown. Yes, but indeed. That's not going to work.
That's
for a competition.
A total all around bit. And here's
or you gotta, your looks have to be so. Everything else has to be whatever to, even if that's not your thing, nothing about her looks, compensated for everything else that she wasn't. Yeah, the look was cute and it was festive, but
it didn't
override, because you only had like 2 lines. All you had to do,
child,
was say we were rooting for you in the right tone of voice, and you would have been cute. Because you was in a green screen, you was in a tree, so you didn't have to move or anything.
So her acting skills, as well as and listen, let me stop right here. Kimora Lee, people, I keep saying Kimora Lee. Kimora Hall, people keep talking about how beautiful she is. Okay, I don't see it. Maybe I'm missing something.
She's not unattractive.
She's not unattractive, but maybe it's the harsh lighting. But for me, I look at her sometimes, especially around the bottom of her jaw. I get man from the bottom of her jaw, like from her nose down. I get man. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is, and I'm not. It's not feminine to me. It's not soft to me. But again,
I just don't see it. I don't see unattractive.
She's not unattractive, but I don't see the drop dead gorgeousness that people talk about. Now, there are some very beautiful women that have come across this stage in Drag Race over the years, but Kimora Hall was not.
That ain't it.
She's not one of them for me. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So, in this next slide, you can actually see the teams that they had divided up into for the challenge. And so, like I said, with this challenge, the teams had to do their little movie, and it was Misery's Loves Company, God Loves Flags, and April Fool's Rush In. So these 3 teams, those were the teams and how they were made up. And this was the on-stage look when they were going through the videos and actually looking at their actual on-stage look. Now, this next screen actually shows when they had everybody on stage, and what happened was they sent home the safe girls. I'm sorry, not sent home. Moved the safe girls off the stage and had moved the safe girls off the stage and had the tops and the bottoms, as you can see. And from this, they made the selection of who was actually going to wind up winning and who was actually going to wind up having to lip sync. And going to this next slide, you actually see Miss Simone came through.
She did it
and won for the look and the on stage for her acting challenge, because she was amazing in the acting challenge.
2 challenges so far,
2 in a row. And this look, again, she made history. First do-rag up on the stage. And listen, congratulations, she won another $5,000. So she done won $10,000 already in 2 weeks. All right. So now this next slide shows the detail of the gown that I want you to actually take a look at, as well as the detailing in both for Kimora and also for Denali. But these were the 2 people. Let me tell you,
so when the girls be like, "I am a lip sync assassin," and you'll be like, "Okay,
child, go on." There's a couple lip sync assassins that I've seen. Chad Michaels is one of these. Is a lip sync assassin.
Even
Coco Montrese was a fucking lip sync assassin.
What's the one with had all the tattoos?
Nina, you talking about Nina Flowers from
Cameron?
Cameron Michaels. Cameron is a lip sync assassin as well.
She was in the bottom 5 or 6
she was,
times,
but she made the top. She made the top 4.
Right.
I liked Cameron. I thought she was great.
Here's another thing. It was like, all right, girl, I want you to wear something beautiful, but I think I also need you to prepare if you got a lip sync. And the moment they started lip syncing, I was like, girl, Kimora can't move in that dress.
But her lip sync was actually good. Like, it was good, but she just couldn't move. Now, Denali was doing. She was doing
stunts and shows and flips, and the girls was going in for it. Which I'm sure if you were in somebody bar, I mean, that's cute. But you was not giving me lip sync assassin. Yeah. You just got lucky that
she wasn't giving you no duck walk. She was giving you duck hops. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was cute. It was cute, but it was not lip sync assassin. I mean, you won, and good for you.
Denali actually wound up winning. And so we wound up sending Kimora Hall home. And so, in the words of her drag family, as she walked off the stage, she was like, "The House of Hall." It's like, girl, but you walked off stage. Right. She couldn't perform in this gown, and she had to walk off stage. But shout out to motherfucking Heidi in Closet, who has a motherfucking commercial with the lotion with Olay. Listen, she looked amazing. I just want to put it out there
because I missed.
No, it was during the show. It was during the show.
Fast forwarded to that, but
she had shout out to Heidi for this closet. I mean, Heidi in Closet for this commercial with Olay. Bitch, I'm here for you. Make your money, like we just talked about.
Don't let
being
it
on the show it has opportunities come to you.
Mhm.
Take advantage of these opportunities. What you do afterwards is up. Make your money, girl. Make your money.
Yes.
So, but you know,
That's it.
next week we'll see what the hell's going to go on. But I thought this week was actually pretty good. I just don't know if I like this format of having the girls drag this out for, you know, the 3 or 4 weeks that we have now for this first episode. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it was good to get to know a little bit more about each of the contestants.
Yes.
So, and I think that was the purpose of why she did it. So,
all right. So let's see what we got. So Bronx man runs off with $200,000 from a Brinks truck. So this man ran off with $200,000 after he pushed a Brinks armored car worker and walked out with a bag of cash on January 21st. This happened
in broad daylight.
In broad daylight, the police released a video showing the robber running off with a bag of money. Said the robber is 5'8" and 160 and was last seen wearing a navy blue hoodie, gray sweatpants, and a black mask. The robber wasn't even running fast. The police, to make sure they fully investigate the private security company worker because it could be an inside job. Now, don't like when this is. That's as I was reading this, I was like, "Bitch, don't you know that money is marked?" I mean, they'll literally just. I mean, they know. When you are a private security company, they have scanned all of those bills. They know what money is in there. There's probably like a blue dye packet waiting to be unearthed in that girl. All right, fine.
Listen, when you go to open that pack, listen, that blue paint you get on you, you can never get it off.
Never.
It's like it takes forever to get that shit off. If it's blue or orange, it's fucking forever.
Yeah.
Ever. But okay. Now listen. This next story, I had to kiki. So
it's a kiki, and I feel I sympathize.
I have some feelings with this. Okay, so listen, an Atlanta area teen stole nearly $1 million from Kroger grocery store over 2 weeks. This 19-year-old was arrested by Gwinnett County Police and was accused of stealing $1 million from Kroger grocery store. As I said, police said Trey Brown spent 2 weeks creating over 40 fake returns to obtain over $980,000 while he was employed at Steve Reynolds Boulevard Kroger between December and January. Now, the returns that he created range from $75 to over $87,000 for non-existent items and were placed on several credit cards. Now, let's just stop right here. Who the fuck returns, first of all, $87,000 worth of stuff to a grocery store
over 2 weeks? This is how, listen.
Who does that?
Listen, I remember my
and then 2 weeks.
Right. I remember my cousin who since passed away. She was a psychologist. I remember I did something when I was young and I tried to lie about it. She was like, if you're going to tell a lie, at least tell a good lie. It's like, don't just turn this shit within 2 weeks. First of all, this tells you that their system is fucked up.
It's wide open.
Let me tell you, because the reason why this story rings with me is because when I was in college,
we will have a sharing moment.
Picture it, Tallahassee, Florida. So what one does, this is in the early 90s, you know, everybody, the computer systems weren't, she went out.
Not charged?
Must not, but it should have been fully charged. It's fine.
Okay.
While I'm chatting, flip the light switch.
Oh, I'm not finished my story.
I'm having a moment.
You have light.
Talk.
You have light.
Yeah, but I'm talking. I don't. If I unbuckle while I'm talking, you know. So just flip the light switch. You know, it's the one right here by the liquor. Thank you.
Now,
yes, thank you, Beulah. All right, off you go. I guess from now on we'll just keep them plugged in for the duration of the show. Girl, that's on the wall by the liquor. Nope, the other one. The one on the front, in front of the liquor. Yes, there we go. See, there we go. All right. Bastard Amber. Anyway, so databases, you know, at least in the early 90s at Kroger grocery store were not fully aligned. So picture it. Every Sunday, we were poor college students. So you come in, everybody put together a quarter because the Tallahassee Democrat, remember the Sunday paper that had all the coupons in it? 75 cents. So you open up the thing. When the thing is opened up, you grab 3 papers. So you spend an hour on Sunday morning pulling out all the coupons. So then you go to Kroger, because Kroger tripled every coupon up to 99 cents. So what you discover is that they don't cross-reference the shit you buy with the coupon, and you scan your own coupons.
Okay.
So you buy $300-$400 worth of groceries, and you don't even fuck with the 25-cent coupons. We were going for the maxi pad coupons, the one where it was 99 cents off, anything that was 99 cents off. So you'd be like, all right, we done bought $400 worth of shit. Scan coupon, $2.97 off, $2.97 off, $2.97 off. By the end of the day, your receipt is this long because they count all of the coupons, but you bought $500 worth of shit, but only spent like $120. Because they don't count the coupon, they don't count the number of coupons. Sometimes we had more coupons than we literally had items that we bought. And we certainly did not buy any maxi pads or whatever the fuck it was that it was 99 cents. So,
So picture it. So I'm gonna tell you a little story about this, but I'm gonna finish this as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he wound up being arrested, like we said, and he the money that he took, he wound up buying clothes, guns, shoes, cars, and then he also actually returned a very large sum of money, although they don't say how much, but he returned a large sum of money. So listen, here's the thing.
Can I just? I know you want to tell your story, but all right. So he returned shit to a Kroger grocery store, right? Yeah. The returns range from $75.
That's what I just said earlier. Who the fuck returns something for $87,000?
Oh, I missed that part. What the fuck is that? Fuck your dumb ass. Yeah, you dumb. You dumb.
Here's my story.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm listening.
I have 2.
With bated breath.
I have 2. So let me. I'm gonna build up. Let me start. So
would you like a chip?
No, thank you. I'm good. These are really good though. Picture it. I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm in grad school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to this grocery store, which I absolutely hate. It's called Kuhn's. Kuhn''. Kuhn's. I hated the store. I absolutely hated the store because it was like
called
a mom.
Kuhn's?
It was called Kuhn's, and it was also it was just a shitty store. It was very small. It didn't have anything as far as I was concerned. But I went in there and I went shopping because at the time I didn't have a car, and I went shopping and it was walking distance and I can get on a bus and get right home. So I was like, okay, great. I then and this was actually in 2000, between 2000 and 2003, because I went back to grad school.
Mm-hmm.
I then realized that you could write a check at Kuhn's. And so at that point, I still had my checkbook and I had actual checks. Not only could you write a check, you can write a check for up to $50 over what you purchased. Mm-hmm. So if I spend $100, I write a check for $150. They give me the $50 back in cash.
Mm-hmm. And
then when I realized that they actually use, I don't know if I'm telling my age, but those of us that are of a certain age that were born, prior to 1980, when people used to give you checks, they actually used to have a book that they used to look the checks up in, which was like the bad check book.
Mm-hmm.
In 2000 to 2003, they still use this book.
Yeah.
So I would write a check. Now I didn't have any bad checks, but I would write this check, and they would go to look at it in the book to say if my name matched up with anyone in these books, and it never did. So here I am on a Wednesday or a Thursday with no money and no food, and I would go into Kroger. I would go into Kuhn's and write this check for whatever I wanted to buy, because the check wasn't going to be processed because they were still using the book. It wasn't electronic yet,
right?
And also for $50 over. Now I also made sure I did this when I was getting ready to get paid,
right?
But that's what I did. So I was able to float a check and get money afterwards. So that's the first thing. I'm gonna go back a little bit. And so come in closer because I'm gonna explain something to you all.
Mm-hmm.
And don't you bitches ever repeat this ever
Never.
in your life. Again, those of us that are of a certain age, when you used to use your credit cards,
Mhm.
when you would go to stores,
Mm-hmm.
they used to give you a little receipt that had the copy paper in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a clear, not a clear, but like a opaque sheet over top of it. And basically, you would put your plastic plate into this metal machine, put the receipt over top of it, and you would rake this machine over top of it and rake it back, kind of like you're making an imprint of the card,
Right.
literally, because it has charcoal or whatever it was that would show up on the receipt.
Mm-hmm.
That was how the stores used to do reconciliations on what was charged and what was spent, and how they know what money was going to be coming in. Basically, it was a good accounting purpose, but they were very thin pieces of paper. And when they were done with them, most places, and specifically rental car agencies, that copy sheet, they would ball it up and throw it in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't shred it, but they would ball it and throw it in the trash.
Well, that's a whole stunt.
So here's where the stunt comes in. The stunt comes in when they would throw these things in the trash. A very young and naive young man,
But very enterprising.
young man, and his two good girlfriends, his good sisters, his two good Judys, would go through the trash dumps at all of these rental car agencies. Pull out these bags of trash and pull up all the information on a rental car form, which was their name, their address, their telephone number, credit card numbers, expiration dates, license, everything. These three enterprising young people then took that information and would apply for credit cards. These three young gentlemen will never, ever, ever jump in another fucking trash can ever again in life.
So you're not just talking about like a trash can, you talk about the dumpster.
The dumpster, the trash can. Mm-hmm. So this young man right here at this Kroger, and this nonsense that he did and getting caught because you're returning $87,000 worth of motherfucking returns. You're an idiot.
At one time. That was the thing.
You're an
it's
idiot.
Not over in the course of 2 weeks. You returned $1 million worth of stuff, including the largest single purchase of $87,000. What? I can't even imagine buying $87,000 worth of stuff in the store
and then having to return it. That would be like a purchase order, credit card. Like it would be something like that's just too much. And then what do you say? I'm gonna take that back in cash. You have it in 10s and 20s.
Well, he worked in the store, so there was really no like return.
There was a return on paper, but then what he did was he then took, because grocery stores really do have a lot of cash in the store. Grocery stores keep a lot of cash on hand. Again, these enterprising young gentlemen, all three of them, learn lots of things from many different places. So this young man is facing a felony, just so that we are clear, because it is over $10,000.
Mm-hmm. Well over $10,000.
And this sounds like it is going to be theft by deception.
Mm-hmm.
It also sounds like it is going to be, if he did it with somebody else, it's going to be conspiracy. And if it's something else, I can't think of what it's called, but this sounds like a felony. Yeah, it's foolishness, but this sounds like a felony. So this young man will probably never be able to do certain things once he's convicted, if he's convicted.
I remember when I worked at Food Lion. I used to work in the deli. Now, the deli has an actual cash register.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're supposed to do...
Intent to defraud.
Yes. Thank you. So, and the Food Lion deli, like if they're going to have soup or, you're making whatever, you got to go and buy the shit off of the floor. So I just buy a ton of stuff. and I would just leave with it.
So,
And also Publix also allowed you to write checks for $75 over.
So take it.
Another enterprising young man.
Take it from some enterprising young gentleman that if you're ever near
how do the kids do stunts these days since everything is electronic? I mean, I guess they have ways, but I don't want to know.
They do, but take it from the kid. If you are ever near one of these enterprising young gentlemen and they tell you not to do something or to leave at this particular moment, listen to them, because they're trying to tell you something that's getting ready to save you.
Right.
Pay attention. Pay close attention. Now the girls do get away with some other shit but I don't know how they do it because it's electronic. It's too much of a backtrace.
Did you used to have a pricing gun?
So there was a time when I worked at TJ Maxx, and there were pricing guns and all that type of stuff. And
I had a pricing gun, and I also had one of those things that you could use to take off and put on the little plastic,
the security plastic thing.
Mm-hmm. Not the actual magnetic plastic.
You're talking about the one that the pin that sticks through.
The little. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, and there's another way to get through that as well.
Oh, and I don't really shop retail anymore.
So again, I try to tell the girls all the time, listen to what the fuck some of your older folks are telling you.
Right. And when I tell you that shit wasn't cute then because it was illegal, it damn sure ain't cute now because listen, girl, don't be
older, baby.
Don't be inviting me out with your foolishness.
If you got some foolishness going on, keep that shit over there. I don't like that shit.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it.
There's certain people that I can hang around with, and I'm not worried about that type of shit.
If you got like an 80-inch Samsung,
you may not want to do that either.
Mm-hmm. Scrub the serial number off of that girl before you bring it over my house.
If it's a smart TV, there's an internet connection and it's a marker.
Exactly.
So,
right. When the girls be like, "Yeah, I got these iPads," I was like, "Girl, as soon as you log that girl,
as soon as you log that bitch on, they can close that bitch down. Bitch, what is going on? Okay.
You know what I did? I looked at the thing and it said of the like 6 bars, it was only 1 bar down. So I was like, well, if it only used 1 bar,
then it should be charged. Okay.
Whatever. Anyway,
we're good.
So last story.
This was interesting. This is about an exhibit up in New York, and I thought,
go ahead.
It's called this article that I found. It was entitled "They Lived a Double Life for Decades, and Now These Gay Elders Are Telling Their Stories." So, Not Another Second is a joint project between SAGE, a national advocacy group for LGBTQ elders, and Watermark Retirement Communities. They have an exhibit that debuted last Tuesday at the Watermark in Brooklyn Heights, where it will stay until March. Now, Not Another Second is a new multimedia art exhibition in Brooklyn that features 12 LGBTQ elders, many of whom spent most of their lives in the proverbial closet. Now, through video interviews and interactive augmented reality technology, visitors can experience their stories. There's 2 of them that they talked about in this article. Ray Cunningham, being 82, and his partner, Ray Prescott, who are now married. They shared their stories as a part of this project.
Is that the older black gay couple?
This black gay couple, I haven't seen them before.
Okay.
But it was an interesting story because they talked about them being in the service and all this other things. So it was really interesting. Mm-hmm. And then there were some other elders that were featured in the exhibit that include Reverend Goddess Magora Kennedy, who participated in the Stonewall Uprising, and Paul Barbary, who ran for Congress as an openly gay man in 1996 and 1998. Alongside each portrait is a number of years the elder was closeted. So again, they plan on being in Brooklyn, or they're in Brooklyn right now, but then they also plan to make stops in Los Angeles, Napa, California, Tucson, Arizona, and a few other places. Now, sharing these stories is really important, as Christina DaCosta, the director of communications for SAGE, said, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. Because it highlights disparities faced by older people and marginalized communities. She was saying that a lifetime of discrimination leads you to these disparities with your health, your socioeconomic status, with how you could live your life across the board. And so there's this thing there's information that was published in the Journal of the Gerontologist last fall that found that lesbian, gay, and bisexual people have a higher risk of dementia and cognitive decline than heterosexual people as they grow older. Very, very interesting exhibit that I would love to see. just wanted to put that out there for you all to.
How long is it going through?
To check into that. But it also brings up the whole point of, while we are younger and we are out and we are proud, there's a large population of elder LGBTQ folks that are actually now going into nursing homes that are being forced back into the closet.
Yeah.
And so I felt it's important to actually talk about that, because
you look at all of think of we still don't live in a fully accepting community.
Right.
So if you go into a nursing home and the people that take care of you,
if it's a religious nursing home,
or the people
church affiliated,
or just no shade, but some girls, a lot of nurses and other things are from the West Indies, and they have very specific ideas about homosexuality.
They just ain't for it,
so. And I don't want to just say it's West Indian people.
It could be it's
anybody.
Cultures. There are several cultures that are just not open to receive it at all.
Yes.
So
we have a few minutes left. One thing I wanted to, I just thought this was interesting. I downloaded my Instagram to the tablet so that I could pull this up. There's this, do you follow Embracing Black Culture on Instagram?
I don't think I do.
Today, one of their featured articles was about Black women and hair and people in Hollywood. And I don't know if you know who Monique Coleman is, but she was the Black girl on High School Musical.
No.
And I don't fuck about High School Musical.
I know the
35
2 or 3
years old
people
when it came out.
Yeah, the 2 or 3 people that were famous, but
so I don't know nobody but Zac Efron. So
and then the black guy with the big hair.
Big afro,
I don't even know his name.
So apparently there was a Black girl that was on it, and she was well known on the show on High School Musical for wearing headbands.
Okay.
That was because the stylist didn't know how to do her fucking hair.
That is awful. That is absolutely fucking
and
awful.
Then so she talks about that. Then
is that her show?
This is actually her.
Okay.
Then there's a Black woman whose last name is McGee, but I don't really know who exactly they're talking about, who was on Boy Meets World. And she had to end up doing her own hair because they didn't know how to do it. Then there's the cute Black girl with the finger waves on
motherfucking Prue
from Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah,
she does her own hair because she don't want nobody else fucking it up. Hallie, and she actually posted a tutorial talking about or showing how she actually does her own hair.
They be tight.
Yeah. And Yvette Nicole Brown says most Black actresses come to a new set with their hair done, which is what she did, or they bring their own wigs and clip-ins. It's either that or take a chance that you will look crazy on screen. Many of us also bring our own foundation. One too many times seeing no shade that matches will learn you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Halle Berry talks about how her iconic short hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that was because
they couldn't do her
fucking hair. So she would come. All you got to do is sort of, and there you go, because the hair is short. And then Tia Mowry, talks about that. And it's just crazy. I just thought it was just an interesting.
It's amazing
article
that
to
you
me.
have all of these hairstylists that are out there, and it's so funny because if for any of you that have gone through hair school, from what I understand, you're learning how to cut white hair, but there is no section on learning how to cut Black hair.
Right.
And so most of the stylists think that you can treat Black hair the same way as you can treat white hair.
No.
And with some chemicals and certain processes, yes, you can. But for the most part, you cannot. So I really feel like in
even like the lotions and the styling gels
the products
and shit that you
stuff
use
don't hold, because listen, most African Americans, they have that hair pattern of 4B or 4C, that tight curl. Baby, listen, that light gel ain't gonna do nothing but glisten. Like it's just gonna glisten
or nap it all up.
That's all. It's gonna glisten. That's it. It's gonna sit there and glisten on top. That's all it's gonna do. So
yeah.
It's sad,
I just thought that was something interesting to mention. Is there anything else before you go? Oh, I wanted to mention old boy. Now I feel kind of bad for this guy. There is a black guy who got arrested, when the people cut up at the Capitol.
Insurrection. Mm-hmm.
Now, while the girl that went in Nancy Pelosi's office stole her laptop and tried to sell it to the Russians, got out and is to her mama, this black guy who lives in PG County, is still in jail. And on one hand, I'm like, fuck him.
But on the
other hand, this guy apparently is homeless and has some mental issues. So, so I feel bad, it's funny, but it's not funny, because even when you do some, when you do some hood rat shit, white people can break into the fucking Capitol and steal the laptop of the Speaker of the House and be public about wanting to sell it to the Russians and then still get released to go home to their mother. And then some dude who was just there, he didn't do anything other than be there, which I'm not excusing him being there. But if, Moscow Melissa can get to go home to her mama, at least we can let old boy, off with a home monitoring or some shit. I mean, he's homeless, but
we have the insurrectionist bull man, cow man, or whatever he wants to call himself.
Right, getting fucking organic food.
Organic food. So I mean,
that he even fixed his mouth to go to jail, to be in jail, and be like, hi, excuse me, I have a question for you.
What's your question?
I don't like this food here. I typically only eat organic food. So get on that, nigger.
Does that food, will it grow mold?
Probably.
Then it's organic.
Yeah, because when they said that, I was like, and you know what? Damn that motherfucker didn't get organic food in jail.
He certainly did.
So then I'd be like, listen, if I was in the cell next to him, I'd be like, oh,
can I get a pizza?
Organic. I can.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But in any event, stay tuned. Like, we have some other stuff that we're going to talk about really quickly. But now we're going to roll that beautiful beam footage for you all to take a look at. And we'll be back in a second. Corey.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, Tyra, this is the Oxon Hill High School yearbook from my junior year, 1988.
Y'all got fancy. Y'all got your names put on and everything.
You could get your name put on it. They all didn't. You had to pay extra for that.
Yeah, ours was like, in fact, all of our yearbooks were like softback until my senior one, which is the hardcover. But it's still only
I think you could only get the. I don't know what they do now, but I don't even know if they had like a softback version.
Ours, my school was small, so
the
seniors got the hardcover.
There's 3,000 people in this book.
There in my high school, in my senior yearbook, there are only 28 people in that yearbook.
Oh no,
I'm one of the 28.
Oh no, man. Yeah,
but that's a whole nother story.
Our school was huge. Anyway, yes.
So we have a couple things coming up. We had conversations.
Yes, Tyra, you are a little younger than me. Yes. Okay. Does that make you feel better? Oh my God.
We have a couple things coming up. We have confirmed some dates for for 2 other guests.
Woo!
And we'll be advertising that. So we have a date for the fabulous motherfucking Sabrina Blue,
Yes,
is coming on, and
haven't seen
Sabrina
her in a
actually
long time.
in her day job actually is a makeup artist for several celebrities. We're gonna have some conversation with her about that. We also
Can she hook us up with some celebrities?
well, we can see.
Right.
We also have on the docket Vaughn Allure to come back and grace us with his presence as well. And we have a couple other things some other surprises that were coming up. So
excellent.
I'm putting that out there. So you will see some advertisements for that once we we'll throw those advertisements out to you guys. So you'll actually take notice of when they're going to come on the show. But just want to give you guys a heads up. And we have some other stuff coming up. I'm not even going to talk about that versus between Ashanti and Keisha Cole.
I didn't even know.
And her ass was an hour and 20 minutes late for the damn verses.
I heard that and I was like, so why did they even have it? Because listen, I wouldn't even been there. I would listen at an hour and 20 minutes. So Ashanti was late, right?
No, Keisha Cole was
so
late.
If I was Ashanti, I would have just sang "Baby, Babe" for an hour.
And then on top of that, she had the nerve
and
to be
then
like,
she got to be like,
she was bossy.
She was like,
"Can I get some more light over here? Can I make my picture bigger? Can you do it?" I was like, girl.
I would have done my shit and then I would have gone. And by the time by the time Keisha Cole showed up, it would have been dead air because I would not have just sat around. First of all, Ashanti ain't got enough songs to fill an hour and 20 minutes.
Well,
so I would have did my 45 minutes.
Well, baby, here's the thing. They looked great. Ashanti looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Keisha, she looked cute
and
too.
Ashanti is actually a very accomplished writer. She's a
great writer.
Lot more writing credits to her talent than her
writing credits and also unsigned singing credits. Because I'm not even going to talk about Jennifer Lopez, because if you listen to some of Jennifer Lopez's songs and the hooks, guess who's singing in the background?
Right.
But we're going to leave that alone.
Right.
So this is why, even though she's no longer with Nelly, Miss Ashanti is not mad.
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah. Her
good.
Her pocket is cute.
Her
pocket is cute. She's
fine.
Her
bag is pretty secure.
Right.
But
so yes, I didn't give a shit about that.
But again, we have some other things that are coming up. So
we do need another bracket. You know, we're going to do.
Yes. Do you guys want to give us some
artists? You know, versus.
Maybe we can do a versus if you guys will, like an R&B or another maybe jazz or gospel or just some other artists that you guys want to see us do a versus for.
Yes.
So if you can email us or hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and you guys have all of our information, let us know and we can try to put that together and make that happen for the show.
Or we could just do songs. Like we could do like a 16 bracket of songs.
We could.
And then just like then we see what is like the greatest R&B song of all time.
We're gonna work on that.
Yeah,
we're gonna work.
Like we could solicit people to give us their opinions, and then we'll put them in a bracket, and then
And we also have. We mentioned this before. We also have some other small skits that are coming up. So stay tuned. We're still getting it together, and I will own my part. Did you get the wigs? I will own my part that I'm doing some other things. So.
It's all good. We got stuff to do, so it's all good.
We got time. We will make it happen.
Well, all right. So thank you all for coming out. It's been a lovely show. One hit wonders would be cute. Best song by a one hit wonder. Yes.
Come on, bougie girl. I'm here for that. Yeah.
Try me.
She actually had 2 hits.
But was the second one a hit though?
We appreciate y'all for looking and joining and spending your Tuesday night with us.
Just saying.
We really, really appreciate
Return of the Mac. You lied to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you all coming. Do you have any last words?
You lied to me. Thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night. Mwah. You know what? You lied to me.